Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to Thrive with Renee Lunch Break Conversation. Happy Monday, happy new week. Thrive with Renee is back this Monday morning, and Monday is always about mindset. And then so today, this is what our conversation is gonna be about. But it's really gonna focus on the misconception of overnight success. And it is in that spirit that I want to bring to you all author, speaker, motivational coach, and financial educator, Dr. Traci Brooks, who will be in conversation with us as we talk about the misconceptions of overnight success. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Dr. Tracy. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I am great. Thank you. It was a wonderful weekend. And so I'm excited to be in this conversation with you. So go ahead and share it to your tribe in your Facebook group so that more people can come in and be part of this conversation.
Absolutely. And
Awesome.
I'm so glad that you're using this topic about overnight success because that is such a misnomer. Many people think that they can be a success overnight without putting in the work.
Yes. But then not only without putting in the work, but then also putting in the work and feel like, you must be a success by tomorrow. Or the pressure of seeing other people, succeeding, but you don't really know the journey.
Exactly. Even the Bible talks about be careful of comparing yourself with other people. Because when you start comparing yourself with other people, it messes with your self-esteem. So everyone has their own lane. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own story. So it's important to know, listen, this is your journey. You don't have to compare yourself with someone else. Just because someone may have seemingly made a lot of money in a very short period of time, well, you don't know their story. So stay on your journey. Stay on your journey because at the end of the day, that's what matters. And you'll be such a blessing to many people that are starting their journey. And guess what? It's the journey. It's not the end of the rainbow. It's the journey that's such a blessing.
So talk to us about, okay, first of all, I'm assuming that we all know what overnight success is. And then so maybe like how would you maybe categorize what is overnight success to maybe somebody who's hearing that concept the first day? And also, was there ever a situation in your life where you felt that maybe someone was an overnight success?
That word success is so relevant. Someone's success might be just having a refrigerator full of food. You know, it's not necessarily money. Money that's a tool. Money is a tool. But everyone's success is different. What does your success look like? Maybe your success, for those that have tuned in, is having a good sleep at night. Maybe that's success for you. Maybe you've been struggling with insomnia for 20 years. But success for you is being able to rest. Maybe for someone else, success is not having to worry about bills. Maybe that's your success. Maybe for someone else, success is not having pain in their body.
Yes.
Everyone's success story is different. So you've got to know what yours looks like and not compare what your success looks like with someone else. Maybe being healed from cancer is, oh my gosh, that is your success for the rest of your life. And now you can have more of a better life because of that. It's not necessarily money. So you've got to know and be clear on what success looks like for you. Does that make sense?
That's it does honestly, because a lot of time, if we are having those mindset where we down on ourselves, okay, and then we thinking, oh, somebody is doing much better than we are, But at the same time, if we have different definition of success, like you mentioned, and so it's all relative. It
Yeah.
is all relative. So we're still early in the year. Okay, so we just started with February, and then so with that being said, it's a lot of pressure because people want to make sure that they want to get this year right. Depend on the various challenges that they had in 2020, and you know how people are excited about 2021. They're about to let's do this, but in the mindset, like, so how do we focus on our mindset on ensuring that we are not being sidetracked by the different levels of success that we are seeing?
So what I hear you're asking is, how do we keep focus? Is that what
Yes.
what I hear you
Yes.
asking? That is the number one, I would say, stressors, because of so many distractions. Social media, especially, helps people to be distracted. You may be focused to lose weight, for example, and now you see all these pop-up ads of these really slim women. And now here we go. You're starting to compare yourself, and now your self-esteem is lowered, when your focus should be on you and your journey, not on comparing yourself with someone else. There's a lot of distractions out there. We've got to be persuaded in our mind what our lane and what our journey is, and stay focused on that. It's kind of like, this is the way I kind of see it. I've been an educator for a long time. And when my students
Yes.
would get off
That's why I'm having you here.
when my students would get
Mhm.
off focus, Renee, you know what I would tell them? If they were reading out loud, or should I say, I'll put it this way, if they were reading in their head, one way for them to stay focused was to read out loud, because it helps them to get back to where they are.
Yes.
If you're reading in your head, then it's easy for your mind to wander. So the same thing. If you are getting off focus and getting distracted, go back to where your first, um, what can I put it? Your big why. Why are you doing this
Yes.
business? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you trying to lose weight? Why are you needing to have whatever level of success that you claim? Whatever that is, you have to go back to your why. And I would also go one step further, and that is to declare out loud, affirm your why, affirm, really, so that you can hear it, so that you can hear why you're doing what you're doing. I want to lose weight because I want to look good for me. I want to lose weight because I want to look good for my husband. Whatever your why is. If you're looking for a financial freedom, whatever that looks like for you, find out your why. Why do you want to do that? And I'm going to challenge you, for the listeners out there, take that why down to 5 or 6 levels. So if you say, I want to make, say, $10,000 a month, okay, why? And then you answer that question, and then ask another why. Keep asking why till
Yes.
you get to the root of it. Because if we don't know the root of why we're doing something, you'll continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results, but you'll have the same results because you did not have clarity. Clarity is so important. If you don't have clarity on something, then you won't hit your target, and you'll be easily distracted, and you will procrastinate because you don't have clarity.
So let's talk about one misconception that you see in regards to people comparing themselves. And we can even go into, it doesn't have to be personal. We can even look into like the major companies right now, like Facebook and Google and Amazon. Okay, so now 20 years later, we are seeing the fruit of the labors of 20 years. But then, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, so talk to us about kind of like, the shift, like when the shift on changing our mindset to know that, okay, this is a misconception, overnight success is a misconception. Let's talk about, the 5-10 years that people have been in the business.
Yes. Yes.
that we don't
I
know of?
encourage those that are listening, don't minimize the time that you've been in business. You may have been in business 2 years, and now you want to throw in the towel because seemingly it's not working. Be
Yes.
patient with yourself. If you know this is
Patient.
the
I'm
right
typing that.
place, yes, let's talk about patient. Didn't you know that at some point before Amazon became Amazon, what were they doing? They were selling books. What would have happened if Bezos had just said, "Ah, selling books, I'm gonna throw in the towel. This isn't working." And I'm sure those mindsets come, right? Those thoughts come and go. So whatever you're doing in business, stay the course. Stay the course because number one, you're developing you. When you begin to develop character, the stick to itness, that is going to take you to the long haul. That when you are in it for the long haul and not the short term, you'll reap the rewards because you're developing character. And let me just say this for people that I'm kind of dating myself, but they're back in the day, we were on our jobs for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years on one job. But now you have many millennials, especially getting on a job, and if they don't like it, they'll quit and get another job. In fact, statistics say that millennials and Gen X's have 3 jobs at the same time. So what are you saying, Traci? I'm saying this. There is something about stick-to-itness. If you're used to just jumping from one thing to the next, then you're not going to make it when it comes to business. Why? Because if you don't see the fruit of it right away, then you're ready to stop and do something else. But the success comes when you have stick-to-itness for the long haul. It's the longevity. Yeah, you're going to have some bumps in the road. Yeah, you're going to have some obstacles. Yes, you're going to be frustrated. Yes, there are going to be days that you cry. There are going to be days that you want to just throw in the towel. But I guarantee you, if you stick to it long enough, stick to it, and you begin to see the rewards. You'll begin to see the fruit of your labor. So don't be afraid of the long haul, because down the line, you'll be able to see the manifestation of it.
Stick to it. Hello, everyone joining us live. We appreciate you. I am Renee Antoine, a financial educator, entrepreneur, helping my clients to protect, save, and grow their money. And I am in conversation with educator as well as financial entrepreneur, Dr. Traci Brooks, who is talking to us about the misconception of overnight success and why it's important for us on this Monday mindset to shift our mindset to know that if we are entrepreneurs or whatever that we are pursuing in life, that it is worth our time, it is worth our energy to just be focused, have clarity, know our why. This is what Dr. Traci has been talking about of the first 15 minutes of this conversation. So if you have any questions, maybe any encouragement that you would like, feel free to leave a type of question. Let us know, what is your thought about overnight success? What are you seeing now? I know Dr. Traci talked about the social media, how it's bombarding us, with overnight success, which is really not overnight success. So join the conversation. And so, Dr. Traci, I do want to ask you though, okay, you talking about, knowing our why, getting clarity, okay, and stay focused. So talk to us about, yeah, I have a little one. Talk to us about why is it important that we don't let it go to our head to just stay focused on our whys. Why is that important? I have Mary Maker. Yes, she says there is no such thing as overnight success, a lot of grind. Okay, so like, why is it important that we don't throw the towel because of all the work that we already put in? Why is it important to continue on the journey?
It's very important to continue on the journey. And you asked the first question, why is it important for it not to go to your head? Because if you're not careful, if you don't have humility, that money or that success can be taken away. Let me ask you this. A carpenter, if he loses his wrench, isn't he still a carpenter? Yes? Because if a carpenter loses his wrench, is he still a carpenter? He is, right? Of course he is. If a mailman loses, he may lose his job. I was going to say if he loses his mail. That example.
Example.
But the point of it is, if once you become, say, a 7-figure cash earner, if for any reason you lose that money along the way, guess what? You're still a millionaire. Why? Because you have the knowledge of how you did it the first time. So it's as you're going along, it's stay focused, stay the course, stay humble. Don't ever forget where you came from. The power of broke is so powerful. What do I mean by that? When you can realize and remember where you come from, then you can go back and help those in need. But if it just goes to your head, and I believe this is one of the reasons why most people don't become millionaires overnight, because most of them cannot handle it. Those that win the lottery, for example, if they were bad stewards with the little, just because they win millions of dollars, give them 10 years, they'll be right back to where they started. Why? Because they didn't know how to manage it in the first place. When you are right now starting out as a business owner, or even as an entrepreneur, self-employed, God is really trusting you with the little. If you can manage the little and begin to save and begin to be a good steward of what you have, then he can trust you with more, little by little by little. But if all of a sudden overnight, you might be happy, but if you're not a good steward of what you already have, that happiness will turn into sadness because you were not a good steward of it. How many celebrities are broke? How many of those that made millions back in the day are broke now? So along the way, get some understanding, learn knowledge, understand estate planning, understand taxes, understand, the income, the tax brackets, understand, stocks and bonds even, understand you're having a financial house, the importance of having a solid financial house, what life insurance can do for you in business, because many people have their financial house upside down. And then just let one illness happen, and guess what? There goes your bank account. So when it comes to overnight success, take it slow. Understand, yes, there's urgency. But when it comes to your personal, as you're growing, be a good steward as you're in the grind. Yes, be consistent in the grind. Be consistent. Success comes in your daily routine. If you only do your business as a hobby here and there, then you won't see growth. But if you are consistent in your business, you'll begin to see growth. You'll begin to see it. What does your calendar look like? Are you booking consistent appointments? What does it look like? What does your grind look like? Are you consistent in the grind? You'll begin to build success through consistency.
Oh, you've taught a lot right now in like less than 3 minutes. So let me give you a little shout out because you've given a lot of information. My sister Christine is hi. She says hello, sis. Hello, sis. Thanks for joining us live. I believe Dominatrix is also joining us in this conversation. She says hello with perfect analogy. Thank you for this. Yes, definitely. I think she's talking about how when you said Just because if we may like lose one aspect of our business, but then we will always retain the knowledge, and so we can always get back on our feet, and we can always continue the journey and not to be discouraged. So yeah, and then my sister says again, daily routine. And then so you've touched on a lot. You touch on knowing our why, because knowing our why will keep us focused, as you mentioned, on not being sidetracked when it comes to overnight success. And you touch about not only knowing our why, but then also having the daily routine that will help us to stay on track, which is really important. That's a different conversation in itself. Okay, but not only that, you talk about managing our money and our finances and having the financial knowledge that will help us to maintain our financial success. So talk to us a little bit about how it's important that our money is important to us, obviously, because we work hard for it. But whose job is it to be, I don't want to say an expert in financial literacy, but then to seek the financial literacy that is required to understand our finances and to protect the financial home. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Financial literacy, oh my gosh. You know, I think I want to, don't quote me on the statistics, but from what I've seen, 70% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in their savings account. Why? Because financial literacy is one of them. And knowing the importance of and how to save. There's something called the snowball. Many people know about it, maybe you don't. Um, as an educator, one of my classes, I did a curriculum on financial literacy for young adults. These were like freshmen, sophomore that were in college. I asked them, how much do they spend during the week on junk? The answers varied, but at that time they were like spending $20 here, $30 there. They didn't understand the importance of saving. And so one particular, this is just a quick testimonial. One young man, I gave them a financial literacy sheet that they filled out for the week. And they had to add up everything that they spent for that week and bring it into class. They were stunned. Some of them spent in upwards of $200-300 on junk, and they couldn't even account for it. I shared with them about the snowball effect. That simply means is you can line up your bills and how from the greatest to the least of your payments, the greatest payments to the least. Or you can do it regarding the percentages. Maybe you're paying 17% on a particular item. Maybe your car is 70%. Oh God, I hope not. And maybe something you're only paying 2%. So however you want to do it, greatest to least. Work on knocking out the least payment. Maybe you have a payment of only $100. Maybe your greatest payment is $1,500. Well, knock out that $100 first. And then the payment, the funds that you use to knock out that $100, don't blow it, but use that now to knock out the next one. Once you knock out the second one, then use those two combined to knock out the third. And you keep doing that until you can knock out all of your debt to the greatest. That's called the snowball effect. Financial literacy is, that's destroying so many families. When you don't know something, it's going to work against you, right? Yes. To whom much is given, much is required. Once you know something, then you're responsible for that knowledge and even to share it, to put into practice for yourself, and then to share that knowledge. So in order to get out of financial deficit, then having understanding of financial literacy, there's tons of things out there to teach you about how to get out of debt. Your financial house, I'll put it this way, with the time that we have left, let me just clarify. Most people have their house upside down. What do you mean, Traci? In other words, they may have their investments, first. They may have their bank account, as second, as a foundation. They may have their real estate, as a third foundation. But then when they think about it, they'll get life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is. You have a stroke, bang. It's $100,000 in worth of medical bills. What happens now? Right? There goes your bank account. Uh-oh. Now what happens to your mortgage? Oh no. How am I going to pay my mortgage? I just, and so now you're in a quandary. Now you go to GoFundMe. Now you're calling up your family and friends to ask for money. And now you're stressed out. Not only are you stressed, but your loved one who's going through the stroke, you're trying not to stress them out. And it's just a horrible situation. Don't you know that life insurance, there is something called living benefits, and you can certainly contact Renee
Wow.
or
I'm
myself
sorry.
so we can share that information. But just so that you know, there are many, many, many carriers that will have living benefits, which means if heaven forbid something happens, not that you pass away, because many people think that life insurance is just for when you pass away, but it's not. But if you just get sick, right, 2 out of the 6 daily living activities, they will advance you 50 to 90% of your entire death benefit to use however you need to use it. And that will help you to alleviate that financial burden if you become ill. I'm sure maybe many of you didn't know that, but that is a tool that the wealthy know. That is a tool that they don't talk about in school. That is a tool that we can at least help you with.
Let's touch it back. I love what you just said about those tools that other people know of and they are using, which is creating, generational success for them and their family, which we are assuming that they're just overnight success, because there's a lot that go into financial literacy, that goes into like the life insurance industry. We have this industry which have been around for thousands of years, and that so many people are taking advantage of them. And then when we see them in business and we see them in life, when we see different communities, we just thinking, well, it's just they work for it and they get it. And then so that's the mindset of the success, business success or overnight success. But then let's talk about those tools that is available to each and every one of us. And it is I would say the cheapest way to accumulate and to create generational wealth, which a lot of us, we have a misconception about it. Okay, I think this is a conversation we're gonna have to continue on the Wednesday, because I do a lot of financial literacy on the Wednesdays. But then, for the sake of all of our audience who's watching right now, I do appreciate you watching. I hope this conversation was instrumental to you. And then definitely, if financial education is something that you are interested in, either myself or Dr. Traci Brooks, you can reach out to us. You can find Dr. Traci and Traci Brooks on Facebook. Are you also on Instagram, Traci?
I am.
Oh, please share your Instagram link, and then I'll see we can put it in the comment as well.
Okay. Yep. Traci G. Brooks, and that's Traci with an I.
Yeah, Traci in Instagram at Traci G. Okay, Brooks. But then I do wanna end on a good note of maybe a last motivation, inspirational message that you can share with us about overnight success, and then taking advantage of all those tools available to us to be able to have the success that depend on what success is to us. Like you
Yes.
mentioned,
Yes.
whatever success that we have, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Close us out. I'm sorry.
In 1 minute or so.
No, we have a little bit of time. I'm sure the audience is enjoying the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Dominique just said thank you. This was very informative. So we have a little bit of time.
Okay. Fantastic. Just be encouraged to know, take it day by day. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed, right? We look at the big picture, which is important, but take it day by day, step by step. It's the little steps. Someone once said, mile by mile, it take a long while. Inch by inch is a cinch. Yard by yard is very hard, but inch by inch is a cinch. Little by little. And reward yourself for every milestone. every success, every milestone. So whatever that milestone is, congratulate yourself, reward yourself. Just give it 24 hours, not a week, not a month, but reward yourself. Sometimes we have a problem celebrating ourselves. So I encourage you, every little milestone toward your goal is so important. And give yourself, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. Why beat ourselves up? Why speak doubt, fear, and unbelief? But begin to speak life to yourself and say, wow, I did it. Maybe going back to your diet. Maybe you want to start crowding out all those carbs and put in one vegetable today. Maybe it's just the broccoli. And then congratulate yourself. I did it. I ate broccoli on my plate. Yeah, it could be something as small as that. Maybe tomorrow you'll add 2 vegetables. I don't know, whatever it is that's important to you. But begin to reward yourself for those little milestones. That's going to be important in the long run because instead of being overwhelmed, you'll begin to see your successes, the small successes, daily successes, the completion of things. Have the spirit of a finisher. What do you mean, Traci? The spirit of a finisher. Yes, maybe you do want to make, $50,000, $100,000, even at 7 figures. You'll get there. You'll get there. And let me say this, and this might be new to someone on the call, someone tuning in. I found I'm so grateful, and I found the importance of building a team. Let me explain. There is something called the Four Quadrants. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but let me explain what that is. Most people, if you're working a job, you have the mindset of an employee. Nothing is wrong with that. We've been in that space, but now you're moving to being self-employed. Self-employed says, if I don't do it, money doesn't come in. That's most people, right? If you have a side hustle, if you don't do that side hustle, then you don't get paid. If you get sick, then the money stops. If you go on vacation, the money stops because you're self-employed. Well, the third quadrant is called being a business owner. What is that? What is the difference between being a business owner versus being self-employed? Maybe you thought it was one and the same. Being a business owner means you're building a team. You have people, you can call them employees or they're just team members, whatever your particular entrepreneurial style is, whatever your business is, but you have a team of people that they have the same goal, they have the same vision, and you're all in this together. You're working this together, you're even helping them to learn. And as they are working the work, even if you go on vacation, the money still come in. That's how you help to make your money work for you. Why? Because you're helping your team. You're helping your team to grow. I know in our industry, which is the financial industry, the insurance industry, that is something that we do. We help our teams to grow. Our focus is on our team because as you help your team grow, you're going to grow automatically, but your focus is on them. TEAM, remember this, together, everyone accomplishes much. When you can have a team mentality, then there's no I in team. And you're helping them to win. You're helping your team to grow. And you'll grow automatically. So if you go on vacation, it will continue. That is passive income. Then it turns into portfolio income. And then the last one, of course, is an investor. And that is the ultimate, when you can start investing in the various opportunities that you see fit. But it's understanding to getting rid of the employee mindset when you become not just self-employed, but particularly a business owner. You know who the hardest person to work for is? It's yourself. Yes. Why? Because it takes discipline to get up in the morning, to get dressed when nobody is even there. You don't have to fight, right? You are the hardest person to work for as your own CEO because you have to discipline yourself and have that same routine. Have the same grind so that you can see improvement in what you're doing.
Amazing, amazing. You gave us so much nuggets. Thank you so much for being with me in this live with Thrive with Renee conversation, lunch break conversation. I so appreciate you and all the knowledge that you've shared with the audience. I know like I mean, I can see you guys are live, so I'm assuming that you are like in this conversation there's a lot of loves, and so thank you again for sharing that with us to encourage us to stay focused, to just stay on the grind and to not be discouraged, because it's like I said, it's February now. In case somebody is getting discouraged, they're not sure, they need clarity. I hope this conversation was helpful to someone listening right now. And then, so, with that being said, like I said, if any of you listening to this conversation, you found value from this conversation, you want to know how to be with a team of people, a group of people who can help you get to your success level, whatever that means to you, you can either get in touch with Dr. Traci or get in touch with me, and we can have a conversation as to who we are, what we do, and how we can help guide you to that level of success that you desire. It's been a fabulous conversation. Dr. Traci, thank you again. And I will see you all Wednesday at noon. Do you want to be with me Wednesday at noon? Because
I
that's
would
when I talk
love
about a lot
to.
about financial literacy. I feel like we touch a lot of financial literacy, even though we were talking about the misconception of overnight success, but in which is okay, because a lot of time when people hear success, they just think financial success, okay, which is not what it is at all. But then I'm glad you were able to touch on it though, and then we can continue this conversation Wednesday at noon, where we will talk about all those level of income that you just mentioned, earn income, I'm sorry, passive income and portfolio income. We can talk all about that, so we can guide ourselves to our success. Any last word?
Absolutely. Yes, I wanted to also say again, success may is not necessarily just financial.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. For a long time, I was doing things for other people because I was a people pleaser. I wanted to make sure I please everybody, and then I was being drained and overwhelmed. And so I had to learn self-love. I had to learn that, if I'm out of here, then they couldn't get help. I'm a caregiver for three adults in my family. So I had to put boundaries. So that way I could, learn how to just love on me, get the rest that I need, put on makeup in the morning, get my hair done, things that are important. So just wanted to encourage you guys out there that if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're a caregiver, if you're feeling like, how can I do this? Sometimes it's not necessarily the how, but it's having clarity. Start with you. Just start with you. Be gentle with yourself and do one thing that's different every day. Something that's going to help you be a better you. Because once you become a better you, then oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. And you can take the limits off the sky. All right. So you can, in fact, live your best possible life. You really, really can. We're witnesses to that. But take care of you. Love yourself because we love you.
Love yourself because we love you. Thank you to real estate investor and agent Tony Grimes, who's with me right now. She says good information, ladies. Thank you, Tony, for joining us. She's an awesome real estate agent, so check her out. So for those of you who are on different platforms, if you're not directly on my page, I cannot see your comment. And since I was able to go to another Facebook page, I see Pastor Jack Nelson of Pastor of House of Grace saying that he's enjoying the show. So thank you for commenting and let us know that you find this information good. So thank you for watching, Dr. Pastor Nelson. And so for those of you who want to, I'm sorry, who wants to comment, it's always best to go directly to my page so that I can see it live and so that I can give you a shout out. So Wednesday at noon, join Dr. Traci and I again in conversation, as we are gonna be talking about the importance of financial literacy, but specifically of being good steward of the money that God gives us, and also how to go ahead and create financial success for ourselves, and as well as, I know it's a lot, but we're going to be discussing it, as well as protecting ourselves and our loved ones. Dr. Tracy mentioned how GoFundMe should not be the go-to when it comes to financial expenses. Okay, so we will be discussing it, as well as, life insurance is not only about final expenses. She mentioned that it also has living benefits. We will be discussing that as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone joining us live. My name is Winnie Antoine. I am a life insurance agent and retirement specialist. Same with Dr. Tracy as well. We help people protect, save, and grow their money. See you all Wednesday at noon with Thrive with Renee, Wisdom Wednesday. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Renee.
For sure.